So here we are, we're at on the east coast, Wakanui Beach I think it is, and we'll just come down here for a bit of a wander. So this is my new Royal Enfield Himalayan. I've only had it a week, and we've only ridden it from Christchurch to Ashburton, and we've just been to Hakatree Huts, and just come down here. I haven't been down here before. It's just another beach, yeah, so pretty impressed with the bike. Like it handles well on the road, it holds the line, it's very comfortable on the road, so you can do long distances. It has sufficient weight that it's not affected by strong crosswinds, so you feel quite safe and stable. Like if a truck goes past or you get a strong gust, it seems to hold up well. And the other thing is, if you get a strong headwind, it has sufficient power that it'll just keep plugging on, so you're not struggling and having to go down a gear. So it's pretty much what I liked about it. It's a good all-round bike. It's very good on the road, very comfortable. Comes standard. We got a bash plate, comes with it as standard. You've got a screen, comes with it as standard, which works very well, very effective. You got a carrier, comes with it, so it's standard as well. And it comes with a main stand, which is very handy as well if you need to repair a tyre, or for parking up. It's very handy. You've also got these, they may look a little bit strange, these metal frame just around the tank either side. This is to carry a bag, so I've actually ordered some from India, the trail packs, and they have a sleeve at the back and you just slide them on the frame and then they velcro on, so it gives you extra storage. It's the Westpac helicopter, hopefully nothing too serious. So it gives you extra storage up front, and I've got a couple of SIBOs. I've got to get the mounts made up to mount my SIBOs, so I can put my bags on, my pannier bags, which are soft panniers, Hepco Becker. And the other thing I really like about it's good instrumentation. You've got an analog speedo, got an analog rev counter, analog fuel gauge, proper fuel gauge, so you know how you're running for fuel if you're out in the middle of nowhere. You've got a compass to give you some idea where you're heading, whether that's accurate or not to where you want to be heading. So if you take the wrong trail, you think, oh yes, and double check with a compass. It's got a ambient temperature gauge, digital. A compass is digital. It's got a clock, which is digital, which is really handy, so you know what time of day it is when you're touring along. You have to pull up for a coffee or something. And you've got two trip counters, A and B, and it also gives you an average speed with your trip counter. Seats very comfortable. You tend to sit in the hump, well I do anyway, for me. Your legs aren't too squat, so that it's very comfortable riding position. The gearing seems right. You don't really need to change the gearing. For me anyway, from what I've been doing so far. Top gear, they say 80 to 110 k's. I think it tops out at 140 k's. I just sit probably, well at the moment I've just been cruising at 70-80 k's because it's still been run in. It hasn't had its first service yet. The first service at 490, 500 k's, and the next one at 5,000. So probably I'd just bomb along about 90. I think when I tested the demo bike, I was, yeah, to sit at 90, 100, I mean 110 all day long. Was quite happy. No vibration. So there's no noticeable vibration anywhere through the pegs, through the handlebars. It's got a counterbalancer in it. You've got an oil level gauge, so you can see the oil level. A quick check. It doesn't seem to be using any. There's your oil filter, 3 bolts. There'll be a cartridge. It's got an oil cooler on it to help keep the oil cool. It's left 5-speed gearbox. Makes an audible noise if you leave the side stand down and you turn the ignition on, like so. Good travel on the suspension, very comfortable. You got 2 guards for keeping the front of the motor clean. The tyres work really well. Haven't tried them in a lot of dirt yet, but they certainly seem to grip well on the road. Yeah, so far can't really fault it, to be honest. It's everything. Once I rode the demo bike, I was really impressed. I thought, well, this is a bike that you could ride anywhere. It's very comfortable. It's got enough weight that it's okay on the road without being blown around. It's got enough power for going against headwind or climbing hills, and you could do a lot of miles on it quite easily, just as comfortable as a road bike. And yet you can go off-road if you see a track or a trail, or you want to do a trail ride, organised trail ride. You can pretty much go anywhere. I mean, you're not going to motocross it. It's not built for that. It'd be probably too heavy for that sort of thing. It's not a trials bike, but it's an adventure bike, dual purpose, whatever you want to call it. It's equally at home off-road as it is on-road. The other thing is, if you do end up going through mud or a river crossing, and somehow you end up dropping it over, you can pick this up. It's not too heavy, unlike some of the other twin-cylinder and triple-cylinder adventure bikes, which are very heavy, which if you get into difficult conditions and mud or crossing a river, you'd end up having to get 2 or 3 people to help you lift it up. So big difference there. Just more manageable. It gives you more confidence to go more places, and it's not just a glorified shingle road, glorified road bike with trail tyres that you can just do shingle roads and that sort of thing. It's a pretty much go anywhere. So far so good, and we'll do another one further down the track. Hope you liked it. Gives you some idea of, I think, value for money. I think they're a very good bike, and as I say, for the time I've had it so far, the only thing I'd say that this one's a carbureted model, and it takes a bit. They run fairly lean, they're set fairly lean, and you have to full choke for about 3 or 4 minutes to warm it up. But once you've done that, you're away, and it just idles at about 1100 RPM, and easy to take off. It doesn't try and stall. It'll just putter around at a crawl, really. So the gearing is very good. I think top gear's good on the open road. First gear, if you wanted to go really slow through a difficult section, it's ideal. The brakes are very good. I've heard some people say that the brakes are not very good. They require a lot of pressure, and some people have rubbished them. That's not actually true. The brakes are more than adequate. When you think that this bike is designed to go off-road, and that can mean some shingle roads, you don't want brakes that are very grabby, so as soon as you touch them it's going to pull up, because as soon as that happens it's going to lock up the wheel on shingle, loose material, and it's just going to throw you off. So braking like you would have on a road bike just wouldn't be any good for this sort of purpose. So it's got a good feel to it, especially if you're off-road. You can just there's not that sudden pull up. It's gradual as you put more pressure on it, and to get it to really lock up you've got to put a reasonable amount of pressure. But if you want to pull up, you certainly if you use reasonable pressure on the pedal and the lever, brake lever, it'll certainly pull up. So I have no real issue with the brakes, and I can see without ABS, I can see why they would do that. It just gives you a very good control over the braking in varying conditions. Okay, I hope that's given you some idea if you're looking at a Royal Enfield Himalayan. Something to think about. Take one for a test ride and check out all the specs. And as I say, if you're just an average height person, not tall, the seat height's 800mm. So for me, I can pretty much, as long as I'm wearing my boots, I can get my feet on the ground. So, and that inspires confidence as well. It's a really important thing without having to lower the bike. So, yep, hope you liked the video.